Chef José Andrés feeds rescue workers during the recent wildfires in California. Elijah Navalage, Reuters, by Tim Carman. Tim Carman, reporter focusing on national food issues, critic covering affordable and under-the-radar restaurants in the D.C. area. Email bio follow January 14 at 5 p.m. José Andrés, chef, restaurateur and Nobel Peace Prize nominee, will focus his humanitarian efforts on his hometown this week when his nonprofit organization launches a relief kitchen to feed furloughed federal workers in Washington. The decision to open a food kitchen only steps away from the White House and the U.S. Capitol is both practical and symbolic, Andrés said during a phone interview from Puerto Rico today. Practically, the free-numbered Chef's Kitchen will feed federal workers and their families during the partial government shutdown, now in its fourth week. In this sense, the operation in downtown Washington will not be too far removed from the food relief that World Central Kitchen, the organization that Andrés launched after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, has offered in Puerto Rico, Houston, Florida, North Carolina, Tijuana, Guatemala and other locales where people have suffered after natural or man-made disasters. I believe it's an emergency, Andrés told the Washington Post about the partial federal shutdown. I believe these people are going to be suffering, and we are a food relief organization. Big news! We will open a kitchen on Pennsylvania Avenue this week to join private sector effort to feed federal employees during the shutdown. It's only fair to feed Americans in need. Number Chefs for HCSX follow @kitchen for more details. Pic. Twitter.com /PRBTLANUG6 José Andrés @Chef José Andrés, January 14, 2019. But on another level, the relief kitchen on Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, the site is currently a test kitchen for the chef's ThinkFoodGroup, which is donating the space for the cause, is a symbolic display designed to spark political dialogue to end the shutdown, which is in its 24th day. In a Twitter video announcing the D.C. initiative, Andrés said he hoped the kitchen would motivate the government to act. José Andrés is nominated for the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. Congressman confirms, I hope it will be a call to action to our senators and congressmen, and especially President Trump, to make sure that we end this moment in the history of America where families are about to go hungry, Andrés said. We should always come together as we the people, as Americans, bipartisan. In the interview with the Post, Andrés said his relief kitchen sends a message that we're here for the people. It sends a message that our leaders should come together and find common ground. As such, Andrés said, he will institute a policy for any politician who tries to turn the numbered Chef's Kitchen into a grandstanding opportunity. World Central Kitchen, he said, will warmly accept any politico who wants to volunteer at the temporary kitchen, but only if he or she brings along someone from the opposite party. The other person must be someone who doesn't think like them, Andrés emphasized. Then again, some critics have accused Andrés of being the grandstander in this scenario. As much as I've admired your work in the past, conflating disaster victims and truly destitute people with folks making salaries well over the poverty line, some of them living in quite nice DC homes because they've missed one paycheck. Number stunt number lost respect, voice of the mute, @Adurdoether, January 14, 2019. Sorry, but I talk to many one-parent mothers with children and they're having a hard time already. Andrés responded to the critic above. The number Chef's First Kitchen will debut on Wednesday at 701 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, and it will run from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. The volunteer chefs will not only have hot meals available for federal workers who show a government ID, but also ingredients and recipes for workers to take home to feed their families. The latter component is important to Andrés. He remembers being a child back in Spain when his own family was living paycheck to paycheck. The days near the end of the month could be tough, he recalled. They forced his mother to come up with creative way to reuse leftovers. José Andrés riveting. We fed an island calls for a revolution in disaster relief. We've all been there, Andrés said. The number Chef's First Kitchen will not affect the sandwich giveaway for federal employees from 2 to 5 p.m. daily at Andrés restaurants, including Jaleo, Sartinia, and Oyamel. ThinkFoodGroup has been handing out 200 to 300 free sandwiches a day at each restaurant, Andrés said. He estimates that between food costs and labor, his restaurant group has so far spent more than $50,000 feeding government employees. I've been in business 25 years because of federal workers, Andrés said. The least I can do is be there for them when they need us. Read more. Paris nudist restaurant closes because not enough people want to hang out after an 18-wheeler spills cases of chicken tenders. An Alabama highway turns into a drive-thru. I tried McDonald's new triple breakfast stacks, and now I'm full of syrup, butter and shame.